everyone, and welcome to the next presentation. And I have the absolute pleasure of handing over to Emma and the team at Combilift, and it's great to see people together in person. It's brilliant. Obviously, we'd love to have you here on campus at Maynooth, but I think you've given us the next best thing, so it's great that you're all together there, and it's lovely to meet you all. So I'll hand over to you for the next 30 minutes to do video interviews and a Combilift presentation. So thanks so much. Over to you, Emma.
Thank you. So the development of Combilift. So Combilift originated from the market 90. So the founders are Robert Moffat and Martin McVicker, and the team, between the both of them, they have over 60 years experience in the material handling industry. So as you can see in the first picture then, Combilift started out in Clonturret. It outgrew Clonturret and then it moved to Gallina. And then in April of 2018, then we moved here to the very bottom of the picture, which is the last site here in Anaha, County Monaghan. So Combilift was established in 1998. We have over 650 employees on site here. Our turnover in 2020 was 300 million, and out of that 300 million, we reinvested 7% back into research and development. We have over 50,000 trucks in operation worldwide, and 98% of our trucks are exported. We export to over 85 markets worldwide and to over 210 dealers. This is just an example of some of the awards that we have won. So we have won the Employer of the Year for the Apprenticeship Award. We've won the Life Best Managed Company, the DHL Exporters Award, and the Ernest & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award also. This is just an example of some of our global customers. So you have Eddie Stobart, Guinness, you have Magners, you have the Coca-Cola Company, and you have Bentley as well. This is an example of our product range. So we have over 30 different models, ranging from 1 ton to over 800 tons. And I'll now hand you over to Neve, which is in the Combilift marketing team.
Hi everyone, my name's Neve Murray, and so my name is Neve Murray, and I currently work on the Combilift marketing team. So I'm just going to give you a quick background on where I kind of started, and I went to Maynooth myself, so just a bit of experience of where I come from. So I graduated with a 2.1 in a Bachelor of Arts degree in Media Studies and Business Management, a double major, in September 2019, but I actually started in Combilift in May 2019 as a summer worker. So I came in as a marketing intern, so a lot of my role was market research, assisting on events, as well as social media efforts too. And then I done them a couple of months and I really enjoyed it, and I got such insight into the company, and I was actually offered a permanent position on the marketing team in September 2019. So since then, it's 2.5 years now I've been with the company, and I progressed into social media management and digital content creation. So my role is overseeing all of our Combilift social media platforms. So with that said, like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we also have a variety of people on the team as well that helps me with this. And then I also have full responsibility for the Combilift LinkedIn page. So that's including our organic media, the paid advertisements that we do, and on our online PR operations. So this is our main platform to reach our global audience as it's B2B business. And I also assist with HR with the promotional ads for job recruitments and the Combilift traineeship. So I have a variety of stuff that I be at. It's never any 2 days are the same. And in that said, Combilift is definitely the perfect place to like kickstart your career. And since joining the company 2.5 years ago, I feel like I've gained a lot of confidence in the workplace and definitely learning new skills from certain colleagues in my marketing department. and then overall assisting with the development of the Combilift social media presence, especially in the last year or so with like COVID and stuff, we've had to accelerate our growth. And then just a little bit of advice for yourselves, like, you know, get involved in extra activities outside of your degree. I think it's very important if you're doing like media or marketing to get that insight outside of your course. So I know it myself, when I was in Maynooth, I helped with the MSU. I was a media officer there, and I also was like a ambassador for the student accommodation as well. So it's good to get involved and meet different people and network that kind of way. So yeah, that's my story, and hope you enjoyed, and I'll pass you over now.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamie and I studied product design in Maynooth and graduated just last month, and I'm now working as a design engineer in Combilift. So a big part of the work that I do as a design engineer is creating solutions, specific solutions for customers, and a big part of this is the attachments which I design. So here's a few examples of the attachments which we do. So there's the glass clamp, a lifting beam that has chains and hooks, a coil lifter, and then there's the spreader bar, which is the most common attachment that we do. So we've made hundreds of variations of the spreader bar before because customers have such specific needs. So the spreader bar helps to support long loads. So to give you an idea of what it's like to be a design engineer in Combilift, I'm going to run through the typical process of designing an attachment. So I'll start with some information that I'm given maybe on the load that the customer will be lifting or the way that they're lifting the load at the moment. And I might have some measurements that I need to stick to as well. And so then I get into some research on what we've done before in the past. So sometimes my job could be as simple. Sometimes my job could be as simple as changing the length of some box section, but then in other times I might have to create something completely new from scratch. So an example of this is this lifting beam, which you can see on the screen at the moment. I'm actually working on it right now. So when I'm ready to start designing something, I jump into SolidWorks. We use SolidWorks for all of the design work we do here. And I found that great when I started because I've been using SolidWorks in Maynooth for years. And then because everything's on SolidWorks, I can get the truck models, the models of the full trucks to try out the attachment that I designed, make sure there's no collisions, and to make sure there's no collisions and to just check that everything's lining up correctly. And then when I'm happy with the design of the attachment, I will make some drawings of any new parts that I've created and some full assembly drawings for the welders. And because everything's under one roof here, it's very easy to communicate with everyone that's involved in the attachment and to keep an eye on the entire process. And working as a mechanical engineer in Combilift, you'll quickly get comfortable in your surroundings with the software that we use and the environment that you're in. But you'll also get challenged very quickly because you'll be trusted with some challenging projects. And you'll also get some experience in the manufacturing process that we use by being so close to the entire process. Thanks, I'll hand you over to Emma now.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma and I'm a recent graduate from Maynooth University as well. I studied product design and marketing. So part of my role in Combilift here is I'm a cabin designer. So I would be involved in the concept ideation, development of new cabins. So I go through the research phase. So I carry out the likes of SWOT analysis and competitor analysis, get an overall view of what the market is looking like in order to meet customer demands, and then research the problem and any underlying problems then too. So from that then I'd kind of imagine possible solutions that could come up in the concepts to meet these needs of the customers. So from that then I would plan, so the factors that would determine this is the associated cost, the suppliers then, and the quality of the components that we would get. I'd also anticipate then lead times. So if we were to put a product into test and prototyping phase, we would need to anticipate the lead times. These could be up to 2 months to 3 months. It really depends on the supplier. So from that then I'd create, say I was creating a rubber mat for the floor. We were changing from steel to rubber. So I draw up the prototype on SolidWorks. I think SolidWorks is very useful for, I know some of you might have done SolidWorks in modules in Minute. I did myself for 3 years. So it was kind of easy to pick it up when I came in here. So draw it up, and it's very useful to be able to bring drawings to suppliers and also to communicate internally into Combilift your designs. So I draw up the part, send it off to the supplier, the DWG of the mat. The mat will come back, and I test it in the truck. So there will probably need to be alterations to the product. It just depends on how the testing goes. So I'm currently working on this model here. Combilift has a very unique value proposition. They are known for the multi-directional wheels, but their cabins haven't been updated in the last couple of years. So if you notice, to expose steelwork, expose components and blind spots, and the overall geometry then could need attention. So I would look at the cab. I would understand what could be modified, or what needs to be completely different. So the way to do that is to understand and design for the operator. So how I do that is I analyse their behaviours. So I'd go out, observe the way they're driving. Even driving the trucks yourself, you're able to get a better feel of what needs to be changed. And also analysing their environment. So these trucks go globally, like they could go to cold temperatures, hot temperatures, so you need to incorporate all these into the design. So for example, then talking with sales reps can be very beneficial, I felt, because for example, I was speaking with a sales rep over in Denmark, and he was saying that his customers want to be able to have a wiper that can actually clean the windscreen. So at the moment, air wipers don't have that capabilities, so it'll be integrated into the new cab design. This is just an example of our current dash and then the concept that we're working towards. So we're changing processes within Combilift. Currently we would use a lot of sheet metal, and anyone familiar with sheet metal, it's in SolidWorks. So you'd be familiar with edge flanges, base flanges. I actually didn't study that much in Minute, but when I came into Combilift, people are very good in here. You're able to teach, and everyone kind of works together, so it's quite good and easy to learn. So yeah, our materials will be folded and pressed, and our old dash here at the moment is very basic components, and when it was designed, it wouldn't have been designed for an ergonomic point of view. So our new concept then will be aiming towards plastic molding, vacuum forming. If anyone did manufacturing engineering or Minute, you'd be familiar with them processes. It's going to be ergonomically designed with the operator controls, say, in one keypad unit rather than being in separate units on the dash. So it just makes it easier for the operator when they're in the cab for long periods of time. We don't have air conditioning in the cabs as standard, so it's important. Obviously, if these trucks are going to like hot countries, that has air conditioning controls, and that they're easy to operate as well. And then our touchscreen displays, we kind of have to look at moving with trends and how we're going to integrate all this into one. So that's kind of what I do here in Combilift. And yeah, I'm going to pass you on to David now.
Thank you, Emma. So I'm David Hatchett here from the Control Systems Department. I'll just go through some of the things we do in the Control Systems Department. So firstly, like Emma and James said there, about the hardware that comes in, so the touchscreen, we're trying to improve our trucks, because our trucks are in many fields, many applications. So we're adding more electronics. As you see in cars, there's more electronics, there's more less wiring we're trying to do, to have different systems, have more features for the operator, more driver aids, to help the operator to drive the vehicle, to use the functionality of the truck. So we're adding more controllers, PLCs, screens, and then getting these hardware components to talk to each other, and sensors and actuators. So what we do then, we look at the hardware version of what we need to, so we look at, firstly we look at the functionality we need to put into the trucks, we add the hardware, and then we get the hardware basically to communicate with each other. So the motors, the controllers to talk to the motors, the sensors then to talk to the controllers, to control different speeds, control different safety stops, all these kind of things. So that basically the nervous system of the truck we add in. Then going on, then we talk to the electrical department, and we would instigate what inputs and outputs we'd have to have come in through the wiring system. Like I said, we try to reduce the wiring, like we see in cars nowadays. We add in other kind of communication systems that don't take as much wiring. So like a 2-wire CAN bus system to be able to communicate instead of having wires for each component to talk to another component. So we'd work with the electrical department in that scenario. Not just hardware, we do a lot of software at Combilift. Like I said, to build in these safety functions, to build in extra functionality, depending on the truck. Here in Combilift, we heavily customize all our trucks. It's not just a one truck fits all. Every truck yields, if you've ever been to the factory, I hope you do in the future, you will see is every truck is different. In Combilift, we're a customized material handling company, and we customize all our trucks. So the software we build in extra functions, extra safety functions, driver aids, and then working up to a fully automated truck in the future. So some of the software we use is a function block diagram software. If anyone's familiar, that's CodeSys. We use a basis of C, C++, and different sorts of languages. We work with many controllers, and actually now in this day and age with COVID and with transport issues, we have to work with more companies now because of issues with infantry coming in. So going on that, you have your hardware, you have your software, you have your wiring. So these are all the things we deal with within the truck. So the career opportunities that we see in my department would be trying to make this truck fully automated. So trying to get a driverless vehicle, and that's where we see the future. Everyone can see it in the car industry, and in all the other industries. It's trying to get that truck to be able to drive itself, to take a pallet off the shelf and then put it in an allocated position and be able to report back then to the management system to say that's where the components are. So thank you for listening. I'm going to hand you back over here to Emma for just on how to the issues, not the issues, sorry, the things we would like to see within Combilift and how to send in your CV. Thank you.
Thank you. So just for opportunities then in Combilift, so you have your internships then for your business, so you have marketing, HR, the supply chain, operations, after sales, distribution, dispatch, and your accounts department. For engineering then you have your mechanical, electronic and electrical, mechatronic, control systems and software engineering. So we currently accept then graduate opportunities for all disciplines, and also for project work, research, final year projects, PhDs, ad hoc project work as well. So how to stand out from the crowd? So ensure your CV is up to date, online personal profiles updated through your LinkedIn, no inappropriate content actions on online profiles, so that's your social media platforms. Ensure application is specific to the company and to the role that you are applying for. Follow company developments, detail relevant projects or experiences that you are working on, and engage with the company regarding projects during your studies. So you need to have a good can-do attitude to demonstrate how you've worked on your own initiative, your ability to multitask and also to be flexible, your ability to think outside the box, a willingness to learn and take on additional responsibility, you're open to criticism and ambitious and career focused. So that brings us to the end of our presentation today. So we'd like to thank you all for joining in. So if you are interested in an internship or a graduate position in Combilift, you can send your CV and your cover letter then to careers@combilift.com, and we're happy to answer then any questions that anyone may have for us.
Hi, Emma and the Combilift team. Thanks so much for that presentation and sharing kind of the interviews with each member of the Combilift team. It was fantastic to see so many Maynooth University alums present. So great to see you, and welcome back virtually to the Maynooth Fair. But thanks for sharing your experience. If you want, I could just, one question came in on the chat there, just would you do much work with artificial intelligence?
Yes, we would. Like I said there at the end of my slides there, that's where we're looking to head for. So we're working on two particular models to try get them driverless and get them basically speaking up to management systems. So we'll be using artificial intelligence to even to, I've seen one of the things that come in from customers, one of the inquiries was to have a face recognition for the driver so that no other driver can drive that vehicle. So artificial intelligence will come into that.
Great. So watch this space. Lots of new developments coming through, which is great. And it was exciting to hear about, what you're involved in as part of that team, which is great as well. Another question coming in. Sorry, I hope you don't mind me putting them to you, but I thought it might be easier. What type of work would a software engineering intern do?
Okay, so software within Combilift, what we're also looking to do is, because we use a lot of suppliers obviously within the company and we use their controllers. So what we're trying to do as well is to build in our own kind of software packages and embed them onto the truck and work with the screen suppliers, but then have our own functionality within the screens. We've often looked at building our own components within the company. So a software developer firstly could come in for building in new systems within the truck, but then also we would look to the future to maybe building some of these components ourselves.
That's brilliant. Thanks so much for that. Another question just in relation to the internship. So how many internships are available and when is the closing date?
I think it's the end of January, is it?
Yeah, so it really depends on whatever the student can get their application or CV in, but anytime we're always open for applications.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And just to get a plug in from our end, so any student that's applying, to the position and they kind of want to, polish their CV a little bit, they can use CareerSet. And then if they want to practice for an interview with Combilift, we do have Shortlist Me as well, which is a kind of online video interview platform. So hopefully when you see Maynooth University students in front of you, you'll have felt that they have used those tools. I had to get that plug in, I'm sorry. But we have those tools available, so hopefully you'll see that come through in your applications. That's all the questions on the chat for the minute. I think that's kind of it, if you're okay to leave it there. But if there's nothing else, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you for joining us today and for sharing your experiences and giving students an insight into, the different roles at Combilift and the different opportunities available to them. And hopefully we'll see them sending those CVs, filling out those application forms and being part of the interview at Combilift in the near future. But thank you so much everyone for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure students can pop over to your stall if they do have any more questions as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.